podcast here. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us. There's a conference coming up. I guess I forget when it's on next week. It's the week after. It's in St. Pete Beach, something like that. One of the beaches. I'm not sure if I'll be broadcasting from it, but it's not too far from where I am. But anyway, I'll have more information on it. I don't have anything. So I'll be there for a short time at least. I don't know the name of it or anything. I'll have information coming soon. So, I don't plan on being too active there, but there's a conference coming up that I'm involved with in some form or another. In the shadows of it. So I'll post that when I have it together. I'll be. I don't have any information about anything on that. So I know where it is and the date. I think I have the date. Anyway, there's Priscilla over there in the corner. Fritzy is off camera, but she's here too. So energies are very something's up. So Venus moon, of course Venus doesn't have a moon, so just going to the moon cycles and anything the Venus moon has to say wherever that is. And our moon, if our moon has anything to say at the same time or something like that, the moon consciousness. And delusional positivity. That's been coming up recently. I've talked about this before in the past. I've gotten different downloads on it recently, which has been interesting. Just there is it's just you see that like with the politicians, they put on this fake persona. Some spiritual teachers do it. People have experienced it in their own romantic relationships, fakery, sociopath energies there. And you can say delusional positivity has been a lesson that humanity just can't seem to surpass. It cannot seem to figure it out. It keeps falling for the same thing over and over and over. So if you just some spiritual teachers or sociopaths, and they just put on positivity and just put on this fakeness, and it works, it's now obviously going to get karma for it and everything. But they don't care apparently. Well, they're soul sucking, but people fall for it. They've been doing it for thousands of years, so why change now? So it's like there's lessons here that just can't seem to snap out of. So they're just, like the darkness within themselves are not willing to heal and see beyond their own nonsense. Not everybody's like that, obviously, but there's a large group that's still just not ready to face the facts. Just the reality of the situation. Delusion seems to be a major roadblock for an individual's growth. It's been going on for thousands of years. Why stop now, right? I don't know. That would be nice. There's a small population that's not falling for it, but the majority, it's another story. That's just like I say, lessons that just can't seem to learn. It just cannot seem to get out of it. So, like calling about all these alien groups, and that doesn't really pertain to anything. We talk about was it solar system news or whatever that is, alien solar system news? Like, does that do anything for you? I mean, maybe on an entertainment level, yes. Other than that, who cares? Well, it's almost like the ASMR of manipulation. But, whatever, you got to do what you got to do, right? The truth hurts, but not really, it doesn't have to. But Like people like the government, like the we'll just use that for example. It's actually a small part of everything. There's a bigger population out there. We have 8 billion people that can't get it together, or not entirely, but there's a good portion that can't get to whatever it is. And the government's a small percentage of that. It's a reflection of society, and obviously they're going to run on do whatever they feel like because humanity's so messed up. It can't seem to get its act straight. And so, I mean, that's why you have police, right? You shouldn't. If humanity gets its act together, you don't need police anymore. But you kind of, because we're nuts. So, I mean, you need to a certain extent, but it doesn't need to be this bad. And yeah, the kids going to schools, if in fear, at least in the U.S. or anywhere for that matter. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. So it shouldn't be like that, but something we have to go through for now, at least. But if the vibrations are higher, doesn't have to be perfect. Let's put it this way: if you're just more real with yourself, society in whole was more real with itself, then it's easier to, like what's going on with, like the corpse we have in, the White House. You don't need that anymore. We can move on beyond that, but society's just not there. I mean, of course, small percentages, but it's very, very small. So, yeah, it's all frequency in the long run. So, we'll just use the government for example. You can just catch them with all their lies, but where they can't even do it anymore because humanity's frequency is at a higher frequency where it just is not accepting that program anymore. But obviously, it's in decay. Not everybody, but there's a good portion that's still, yeah, internal descent. Yeah, whatever. Gotta be yourself, right? Go do you, right? Yeah. Well, you don't have to. You can do something better there. But in my experience, many choose. It's easier just not to try, from what I'm saying. At least on a personal level. Jeez, it's quite the sight. Silence.com, private sessions. Schedule or shop here. Yeah, my personal outings in regular life. I have to be around people and kind of connect with them. Not really. Not really. And just like, hey, I'm just going to just self-destruct. Sure, that's the theme here, apparently. So, yeah, it's almost like watching. I mean, it's almost, being like a mortician here. You're just watching society just continue to just go down the drain. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to do it, but it seems to enjoy it, and so just watch it take the slide. So, whatever works for you. Yeah, because if humanity obviously decides not to destroy itself anymore, like I said, it's not everybody, but it's a good portion of it. They seem to enjoy that. It just seems to be just no self-love. Yeah, a lot of us no self-love. Once connect to friends that are parasitic, so you just say, hey, they just stay with that parasite energy. For whatever reason. So yeah. So anyway, whatever works for you, right? Nothing like having a bunch more incarnations here. That's pretty much. Yeah, you keep going backwards. You just set you just used to know you'll be back here about 100 more times. That's good. Hey, well, this is where you're doing it. I mean, if you're going backwards here and you try to go somewhere else and evolve, but where you messed up, you can say, is here. You're going to have to come back here to clean yourself up. Undo your undoing whenever you feel like it. Or if you're just stuck in your dark cycle, this place is perfect for that, apparently. So whatever works for you, that's okay. I'm just talking delusion. It doesn't matter. That's most of it. Sad. Whatever. whatever. Yeah, because death should not be such a mystery. Mystery should not. There should be no mystery. I mean, there'd be mysteries, but not like how it is right now. But society is so uncertain of itself, so that's why we have the world we have today, and so on and so on. Who cares? All right. So anyway, we're going to Venus energies, moon cycle, frequencies, and delusional. I guess I kind of already tapped into that, but anyway, we'll go into it again for some reason. So, all right, blessings for you. Greetings to you. Yes, we had moon cycle, moon or Venus frequencies. Also, well, Venus does not need a moon, so it doesn't have, we could say, a third dimensional experience it needs to go through. But it is still in your physical reality because still, you say there's some radiation there that your world needs. It's advice, knowledge. Venus's people are here. So like a reminder, there's more to it than that. Is Venus is very interlocked into the Earth's frequency for sure. Now you can shift timelines and see in your mind's eye several moons around Venus, but also in Venus's atmosphere is much different. Yeah, it's not exactly the most healthy frequency there. Venus energy probably sounds very pure and connected. But of course, when you look at the planet, it's turbulence because that just has to do with the environment of what's going on with the planets, your world, because all your worlds are connected. Like Jupiter has many moons, and this world needs Jupiter's frequency. This world needs it for its own survival. It's like, and Jupiter needs to ground itself to handle this world's negativity, what it needs to go through. And yes, there's no right or wrong. You do what's best for you. This world is here. The platform is here for you to experience yourself. It's kind of like the planet is kind of like YouTube, you could say. Do what you want. But eventually you will grow. I mean, growing already, but it's more like the internal growth though. You're out in front of your friends, family, somebody sees you somewhere. Yes, when you're seen by others, you change. Yes, sometimes for the better or for worse. Like, yes, you can become a functional alcoholic, as some choose, or a functional, sociopath. There's that. There's much more to it than that, but it's just you're functional within your. Some are ready to let go of that negative friend or that controlling friend frequency for whatever. Obviously, if you have a family, that's a little bit different, also. But they're also, they can kick you out of that frequency too. It's all the personal choice. It's like what you eat, basically. You are what you eat, and you are who you are around. Now you can be around toxic people and still be nothing like them, but it does rub off every now and then. Without going into all the details of that, it's hard to shake off that frequency. And those that fall into that peer pressure, it's not necessarily peer pressure, but those that just want to warn at a very slow frequency, yes, it's almost like the turtle in some regard. Yes, this world can go as slow as you want it to. Like traffic, you can go very slow. So interesting with traffic, like your roads, your cars, it also shows how slow society is in those areas. It's like, let's get together and show each other how slow we are. So if you're in slow traffic, it's like, so I mean, people in this, not all of them, but quite a few in this traffic jam are at this level, going nowhere. Technically, they are going somewhere, but just not quickly. There's a lot more to it than that. Give you some idea, symbolic energies of what some of that means. Sometimes they're complex roadways. It just shows how complicated society is, and so on. The world, society is built off of human consciousness. So where you are living is part of the consciousness that's here. The tropics of Florida, as this has a lot of Atlantean energies, a lot of healing vibrations, but also a lot of self exploration actually, but something to actually leave their problems behind. It's kind of rehabilitation state. New York City is more like, or New York City. We just talk about that's where you create your problems and you go somewhere else to clear it. That's how you learn. At least you're willing to go somewhere and let it go. That's good. Some just sit there. Well, you get what you need from it, and then you jump out of there. Or you can go, or you can make it work. You can actually evolve there. You just gotta know what you're doing. Not get pulled too much in society's manipulations, which is many. Well, you see how the government is. The government's in like New York City. Touchy subject is very reptilian. The reptilian frequency is like how low you want to go because we'll take you there. Yes, we'll be mundane. We won't make any sense. We don't care. We'll take you down as so as. There's some feline energies there. It's mostly reptilian. And so on. So you can go on and on with that. The DMV for your car is very reptilian. It can be good, and it also be very repetitive nonsense. Your insurance companies, there's some Arcturian energy there too. Yeah, insurance is unfortunately, yes, a scam, but society is not ready to heal that just yet. There'll be some innovations on that eventually. Well, it's getting expensive, but it's like extortion, right? It's like the mafia. You're paying us to protect you, supposedly. And you come back for your, hey, we have damage here, and there's, well, it takes 5 years to get your claim or your payouts or something like that. So it's very mafia connected. If you have not noticed, your government is worse than your mafia, more psychotic. And I think they're proud about that, actually. That's a combination of different alien beings. So, reason we're bringing it up, like your moon energy here on your planet, there's manipulation around, but also there's growth. There's a little bit of everything over there, as some of you have noticed. Is what it's clearing. It's bringing in darkness, letting it go. It's help you with your physical reality, basically. It's neutral, but not always. It can bring the wolf out of you, the werewolf, and then again, that's not always a bad thing. It brings out that side that is necessary. Of course, it can be out of control. It doesn't always have to be that way. But it's also the moon is part of revealing at the same time. Yeah, reveal. Like now you see the wolf man, which you did not see before. So there is positives to it. So it's just, it's difficult to go into full details of that. Or just leave you with a short version of its purpose. So I think we did some revealings here. So blessings. Greens, you the Arcturians, blessings. Delusional thinking, that's been taught through Anunnaki. Well, there is a promised land that's been told to you. Some of the time it's fake. A lot of delusional thinking also is just where humanity, just, the physical realm, the spirit realms here can be very manipulative, as some of you have become aware of. And they're part of a lot of that delusional thinking that, negative spirit guides, negative spirits. That has a lot to do with the delusional thinking of just basically kind of poisoning someone's energy. It's kind of like putting a virtual reality on someone and leaving it on, like they don't know they have it on. That's part of like the headset. It's kind of like that because you have your mindset at that's probably not going to happen here in this reality, but alien disclosure for that matter. There's delusional versions of that and real versions, but the delusional versions is the Hollywood version, you could say. I'll go into all the details of that. And also spirituality, even like with Yeshua coming back and saving everybody. Technically, his energy has never left, and he is assisting, but people aren't seeing it. Some are, but it's on a fourth dimensional level. It doesn't have to necessarily be here physically. If Yeshua came back here physically, obviously, some I've already said, portions of energy is here physically, and there's some truth to that. But if Yeshua came back here, yeah, physically, he'd be and he would want to save everybody. Well, even him will have to stop that. It's like part of him wants to, like, yeah, sacrifice himself for society, but then he has his limits also. Like he knows how to pull back, and I believe he has to some. Obviously, energetically, he does not, but physically, you can give yourself up too much. So the delusional frequency that's here, yeah, is sometimes you go in places in astral, like you're looking for a comfort zone somewhere, and your dream state, and you get stuck there. And then this reality kind of distorts it. There's nothing wrong with escaping reality, but but still having your foot grounded here that this still exists. Oh yes, like your president's situation. People are not believing that's real. See, that's even delusional thinking. They're actually delusional thinking that's not as bad as it thinks, but it actually is. Well, it's pretty messed up, but people don't want to see it. So it's another way of delusional thinking. And no matter how successful you are, sometimes the more successful and more delusional you get, as some of you have noticed, become more than 1% that's checked out. But society in general is not always realizing what world they're in. They don't always want to see it. They can't handle it. You don't have to see all the darkness here, but at least be somewhat planted in reality. Be surprised how many they zone. Yes, they zone out, but that doesn't help your human self when it gets manipulated constantly. It's like, yeah, you might have checked out on a conscious level, but your human experience is still being drawn to what makes it feel better, even if it's not the best frequency. It's kind of like being an alcoholic. You can find the wrong spirituality for yourself and become an alcoholic of manipulation. People, you're sucking in a bunch of wrong frequencies or negative frequency, but that's what, it's kind of like letting your boat just cast off into the ocean, just let it go wherever it wants to go. It's like yourself doing that. Some do that. Not everybody, but quite a few do it actually, and not realizing it. Well, it's just that you can stop yourself from making bad decisions, but sometimes it's too late. That's something you notice. And then when you make the bad decision, you just don't want to always realize that and just keep going forward when you can actually jump out of it anytime, like a bad marriage or wherever it might be, a bad friendship or the wrong spirituality. Be surprised how many don't want to admit that they're wrong. So they continue it throughout their whole life, actually. Yeah, they don't want to realize what's happening. And sometimes, yes, you build a contract where you're stuck there for a while too. There's that too. And so you get kicked out sometimes, not always.